It is proudly brought to you by KB Consulting. Now, why are we even doing this in the first place? Every teacher has the opportunity to tell a story. And that's because every day you are molding lives in your classroom. You are changing things. You are reimagining the way, the trajectory of children's lives. And so it is important that we hear your story and we are part of your learning journey and your success stories as well. Now, we can all agree that the world is changing fast, but sadly, the schooling system is still almost the same. I mean, you can imagine the fact that the classroom design that is being used right now was created back during the Industrial Revolution, and we are still using it even as we have gotten into the 21st century. It is important that we change the focus from just focusing on academics to also including life skills, business skills, creative thinking, critical thinking, problem solving, and well-rounded citizens. Also looking into mental health and social health and all of that. Prior to this time, education only used to focus on the IQ, intelligence quotient, but right now we are learning about things like social intelligence, emotional intelligence, so that we can be well-rounded people and we can also raise well-rounded people. So we cannot do this alone. This is a Herculean task. And so we believe that we need you all to join us so that we together we can make a difference in our country and indeed in our world. All right. So one of the things we expect from you is that you'll be giving us weekly feedback on how you are finding the series. Are you enjoying it? What did you enjoy the most? What did you what didn't you quite understand? And then how would you apply it the um to the curriculum delivery as you are from what you have learned? How are you going to deliver this to the children so that they also get the best out of it? We believe that your contributions matter. So this is not so much about Google for Education. This is about you. This was put together by teachers for teachers. All right. And then as you attend these webinars, we ask that you share your successes and your stories. The only way we can be part of your story would be when you share videos with us, you share pictures with us. So to this effect, every school that is involved in this series would have a folder in a Google Drive where they will be uploading their pictures and videos. We'll be putting this material out on social media and calling your schools out as well, celebrating the fantastic things that are happening there. And also, these are the kind of stories that Google will want to tell. So they will also be reaching out for stories. So I mean, you can imagine if Google decides to take your material and begin to publish your school. Imagine getting publicity from Google, right? Okay. So, like I mentioned earlier, this is the second cohort. So the very first time that this was done, these are just some pictures from there to show you the fantastic things children were able to do, the fantastic things that teachers also were able to do with the children. Now, one of the things I really like here would be this one. I really enjoyed this one because this will blow your mind, but this was actually created using um, Google Sheets, right? So that's the spreadsheet from Google. And they were creating art. It's called pixel art. They were drawing and they were using Google Sheets. How exciting is that? And you can imagine that the children that did this are in from year 3, year 4, year 5. So it's not even just for secondary. Everything that is here can actually benefit children from primary all the way up to secondary and even university and even you as teachers, because we have some short certificate courses that you can take and just improve your skills apart from the webinars. All right, these are pictures as well. You can see this school. This is a nursery class. They were teaching them, I think, about animals, and they were singing the song Baby Shark, and they used augmented reality from one of the resource packs and had the children, just singing Baby Shark and having a shark right there in the room. How exciting. All right, so if you, of course, this slide will be shared with everyone so that you can have time to go through and then have time to click on here. So if you click here, you would see exclusive content from our first cohort and all of the marvelous things that were done. I'll just be sharing that with you in a minute so that you can see the fantastic things that other teachers did with this as well. So this is a Google site. Remember, I mentioned that for everyone who is part of this, the Google site like this will be created and your school will be advertised here. So this is a good marketing material. You can share this with the parents at your school so they see all the fantastic things that are happening. I'll just quickly scroll down and you'll see things that teachers from Bloomberg schools did. Our very own Mr. Joseph did a lot of fantastic stuff, as you can see here. If you keep scrolling down, there's so many people. Okay, so we had quite a lot of teachers from Bloomberg, and so it seems as though we have quite a lot of content from their school over here. But if you scroll all the way down, you would see even schools from South Africa. This is a school in Abuja that was a part of this. This is Virtual Consulting. Oh, and that's me, as you can see. Just with a couple of things that we did as well. You can see this is a school in Port Harcourt, Nigeria, and all the fantastic things they did as well. So it's really exciting. How cool would it be for you to actually send this to your parents to see what you are doing? And this is a school in Port Harcourt as well, Redeemer's Prime School. Our very own Tobi Oyedele, she's in the house today. And these are the things that they've been able to achieve with this material. It's really quite excellent, and it's something that would definitely be worth all the preparation and inconveniences, right? Because of course nothing comes easy. So what do we expect from you? We expect that just so that we know that the webinars were being done or were being watched or you were part of it, you would have to fill out the feedback forms so that we know that yes, you did it, and we can track your engagement and find out the parts that you enjoyed the most. We analyze that data and use it to improve the experience for the next time we have live webinar series. Now, we don't just do that just because we want to take your data, but also because we have Google for Education swag to be won. So the people who are very active for each of the topics will be getting some Google for Education swag, and I'd like to share some of these swag with you so you see. So we have the oil and vinegar dispenser. So if you are someone like me that likes to cook, this would really speak to your core. And then we have the branded Google for Education mugs, very beautiful stuff. We have 3 variants of it. We have the Poiki pot, that's the 3-legged pot. We all know this pot. Now, this is not the real pot, but this is just a little model of it. So you can use that as a teapot or something to decorate your reading area or anything like that. And then we have wooden salad servers. This one comes with an excellent Africa pendant that you can actually use as jewelry. And then we have the glass board. Now, this is a cutting board, and it has a South African flag on it because it was made by a South African artist, and you can't write, right? So very beautiful stuff. Now, I'd like us to take a sneak peek at one of our resource packs. So remember at the beginning, I told you that digital responsibility is the very first webinar that we'll be having in January. Now we have resources here. So if your school has a lot of technology or computers and all of that, this would work for you. Also, if your school is struggling with technology or you don't have computers and all of that, we also have something here for you. So you can see here we have, and all of these are hyperlinks, so you can click on it and it will take you wherever you need to go. So we'll be looking at the curriculum in a minute, but I just want to explain everything that is on here. So we have the Be Internet Awesome curriculum, which we'll be looking at shortly. We have interactive peer deck activities. So peer deck is for those who use smart boards. You can actually just put it in and have a great time with all the activities in there. We have slides, lesson plan slides already ready for use here. We have the famous Interland game, which I'll be sharing with you. And then you have the Google Forms. So these questions actually are at the end of every Interland game kingdom, which I'll be sharing with you. So like I promised, I'll be showing you the Internet Awesome curriculum. Very excellent stuff. So the Internet Awesome is what Google called the entire digital responsibility resource pack. They believe that children need to learn how to be internet smart, internet alert, internet strong, internet kind, and internet brave. And so this is a material with 139 pages. It's actually a treasure trove. I'll just go here and you can see it shows you ways you can teach a curriculum. It shows you activities you can do. It gives you a letter template to share with parents. It gives you some frequently asked questions. And then we have units. So you see unit 1, you have share with care. Unit 2, you have don't fall for fake. So this particular material, if you run with it, it can even take you up to 6 weeks for you to do that. And you see that's the digital safety and citizenship curriculum. It even has a digital citizenship and safety course that you can do with your children, and even the teachers can do it and get Google certified. Now, I'd like to share this part. This one is very dear to my heart, the Interland game. It's really quite exciting, and it can be played on any device. It can be played on the phone. It can be played on the laptop. It can be played on a tablet. It's actually quite exciting. So if you remember clearly, when we were looking at the Be Internet Awesome curriculum, we had Share with Care as the first unit. So this is the game. So imagine teaching that program and then your children come here to play this game. And then by the time they are done playing, they can actually even have their question and answer sessions. Those Google forms you saw, they will be here. And then by the time they play that game, what happens is at the end of this Mindful Mountain, for example, they have questions to answer.
The mountainous town center of Interland is a place where
if they can answer those questions, the exciting part of it is that at the end of this Mindful Mountain, they get to get a Google certificate. So imagine playing a game and then getting a certificate for that. How cool is that, right? So I'll just spare 1 minute to play the game.
everyone mingles and crosses paths. But you must be very intentional about what you share and with whom.
So it's very easy and you can see very user-friendly. Moving on like that. And so it's just really exciting. All they need to do is just keep playing. And when they get to the end, they answer the questions. Once they answer the questions, they go right back to the end, and then they get their certificate. Then they can move on. All right. So there's really quite a lot, and you can imagine that this is just the very first resource pack that we're looking at, and this is not even the whole resource pack. This is just a little part of it. We have parts where you get the posters that you can put in your classroom and all sorts. It is quite exciting, I tell you. And now I would like to hand over to our wonderful teachers in the house, Miss Victoria and Miss Toby. They will have 5 minutes each to just tell us what they did with this amazing material and how it has impacted upon their classrooms. So the first person going up is Miss Victoria. So Miss Victoria, I'll stop sharing now so that you can share, and it's over to you.
All right, thank you so much, Suzanne. Okay, that was an awesome presentation. Thank you for the opportunity to share what I have learned so far, and I'm glad MKB is giving me this opportunity. All right, so please confirm that you can see my screen at this time. Okay.
Yes, we can.
Can you see my screen? Okay,
Yes.
great.
Yes, we can.
All right, so
Yeah.
my name is Victoria Victor. I am the ICT teacher here at Cold Spring Foundation School, Port Harcourt. And I'm going to be sharing how being a part of Cohort 1 turned out my classroom to be very engaging, especially using Google Workspace for education tools. Okay, so we talked about a lot of emerging trends, and one of them was computational thinking. For this particular class, I had to jump on the resource pack that was shared and discovered the Google CS First website that contains free curriculum lessons and plans, and even it went ahead to even tell me how to deliver this lessons to my children. And so what we did in this class was we were able to use codes to create games, arts, animations, interactive stories, and the children, they just keep looking forward to this particular class, all thanks to being a part of the cohort one. Now, I need to say this, that the tools and the ideas, resources that were shared in cohort one helped transform teaching and learning with my learners and helped keep them very engaged, of course, which led to better learning outcomes. And also, one of the trends I got to learn from cohort one was digital responsibility, okay, which is also the gamification class Suzanne just talked about. Here in this particular lesson, children were taught how to behave when they're online, what to do, what not to do, how to look out for their digital footprint. And of course, they got to learn through games. And you can see how they're so focused, okay? And they just love the music that comes with the game. Some of them even get to dance along, even as they played the game. All right. Okay, so you can see her enjoying while she's going about learning. And the good thing is they are enjoying this, but they are also learning as they move along. Okay, so another trend we talked about, another thing we did in class was project-based learning. Children learn by doing. Okay, they love to do. So in order to keep them engaged, I found a lesson in the Applied Digital Skills website. And it was a lesson that taught children how to create promotional flyers. And it happened that at that time, we had a graduation ceremony coming forth. And so we jumped on that and created promotional flyers. Children were able to use lessons learned from that class to make flyers for their graduation ceremony. Of course, we printed it and they could also use it to invite their friends. You could see how their shoulders were high with confidence when they were giving out these cards, inviting their friends and family for their graduation ceremony. And of course, one of my favorite is virtual tours. Okay, so with virtual tours, my children could go to anywhere in the world while they were still in the classroom. Cool, right? So, of course, we visited so many places. I'm just going to mention a few. We visited the Eiffel Tower. So it's so beautiful how it felt like we were on the tower. Like we could go in, we could do a 360 view, move around, and we could look at the city right from the tower. So the Eiffel Tower is in Paris, and it was really an amazing experience. We also went to the Leaning Tower of Pisa in Italy. Here we got to learn more about this tower, how long it has stood leaning, and it has never fallen. Of course, it won't fall. Of course, for my boys who really love footballs, they are really passionate. Okay, so we visited the National Football Museum in Manchester. Here we explored the evolution of the World Cup into how it became a global mega event. And we got to look at a lot of collections around the museum. So another trend I learned was the life skills and workforce preparation. This particular class teaches children entrepreneurship, okay, and how they can use their hands to create stuff and also make money. So this is the craft and sewing class. Now, whatever thing we're going to learn in this cohort cuts across different subjects and also can be implemented. This is the flower vase and piggy bank class. So children made piggy banks, okay, from recyclables around us. And then they made bow ties. Of course, they wore it to their different religious denominations and also made money out of it. They sold it and saved it in their piggy bank. So here they learn the value of money while they make money as well. Also, here is a carpentry class. So yes, we have a lot of children that want to be doctors, engineers, and all that. But we had to open their eyes to how we can use things that are around us. This is just wood that was laying somewhere in school. And so what they did was they had to take it up, recycle it, and made a stool out of it and placed it in their class. So they became one stool richer, and you could see how proud they were with this tool in their class. They would always want to show anyone who came to their class. And also, one of the trends that was talked about was the student-led learning with Google Classroom. So with Google Classroom, school doesn't end at 2:30 p.m. or 4 p.m. So children can also have resources of what they have learned in school in Google Classroom, and they can access it anywhere they are in the world. So Google Classroom helps with collaboration and also help teachers and learners to communicate as well. Another one we're going to talk about is the Google Forms. So I know all the issues that come with having to mark exam script. Exam is around the corner, okay? So right here in school, we are done with paperwork when it comes to assessment or examination. So with Google Forms, my children's exam can be automatically graded. They can get their score there and then, and also that is truly amazing. So the highlight for me in cohort one was to be a part of the trainers that delivered such trainings like this with amazing people like Joseph from Bloomberg Schools, Antonia Dovecott, and Beatrice, a primary teacher in South Africa. So finally, before I hand over to Susan, I want to say this, that the only way to make sense out of change is to plunge into it, move with it, and join the dance. So education, the way we should teach and learn has changed. So I want to encourage and implore every one of you who joined in today's session, okay, to be a part of the cohort that is coming, and also not just be a part, but an active participant. And of course, with that, you'll be able to transform teaching and learning that will lead to better outcomes, okay, with your learners. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Victoria. I really appreciate the opportunity to even relive your experience. And to be honest, I also used the Google Earth. In fact, I went on a tour of France with my nieces. We went to the Eiffel Tower, we went to different bistros and cafes. They had a marvelous time, I tell you. And now they can't wait to get their hands on my laptop. Of course, they are forbidden until the next time, right? So thank you so much. And now I'd like to hand over to Toby. So Toby, you are up now. Share your testimonial with us. So Ms. Victoria, you can stop sharing now so that Ms. Toby can share. All right, so Ms. Toby, it's over to you right now. Thank you. Hello, Ms. Toby, are you there?
Yes, I'm here. I'm sharing. Yes.
Okay, great.
Just a minute. Okay.
Okay, so would you like me to share while you speak so that we can
Okay.
stick within the time slot?
Can you see my screen?
Okay, yeah, it's coming up now. Yeah, we can see your screen now.
Okay. So good evening, everyone. My name is Toby Oyedele. I want to thank you, MKB, thank you, Google, for availing me this opportunity to share my gains from the last cohort. The last cohort was mind-blowing for me. Knowledge is indeed power. Aside from the fact that I got trained to immerse several emerging trends like the digital responsibility, life skills, and workforce preparation, as well as computational thinking and student-led learning, amongst others, into my teaching. My students had a thoroughly exciting time while they learned. The school that I partnered with was digitally disadvantaged. But because the curriculum is so vast and flexible, we were able to learn as much as we could using the alternative materials provided, just like Susan mentioned earlier. The internet's awesome curriculum was especially engaging for them. They didn't even want to stop learning. The exposure to computational thinking broadened their perspective to coding and enabled them to see that coding was not just for professionals, as they thought before, but for everyone, including them. Some of them were able to code. I learned to code for the first time too. And the cohort opened my eyes and theirs to the world of Google and its wonderful packages. There were some packages I stumbled on that I didn't even know existed, and I was able to work with them, and it made work so much easier. The experience was capped off with the Bitmoji classroom and the Walkabout Africa project that I participated in. Now, this further opened us up to an in-depth knowledge about African countries that we had never been to and even that we had never even heard of. Finally, this was a highlight for me. Finally, during the cohort, I was opportune to win one of the swags, which consisted of a beautiful kitchen item and video access to learn more about Google packages. This exposure piqued my interest into getting certified. I wasn't sure how I was going to do it, but by the end of the cohort, I got a partial scholarship from MKB Consulting to get trained and certified as a Google educator. How cool is that? You know, it has been so exciting for me and for my school. It was more or less a win-win for us because I learned, my children also learned, and we all got certified. So it wasn't just about the students only, it was about all of us going on the journey and making the best of it. This is an experience that we wouldn't dream of changing. And we have Google and MKB Consulting to thank for this. Thank you so much, and thank you all for your time.
Okay. Thank you so much, Ms. Toby. And indeed, it's also exciting to be a part of your story and to be a part of the learning journey. And I'm really quite excited about this second cohort. You know, sometimes you think you've learned everything there is to learn about something until you have the opportunity to do it all again. And then you find out that you actually learn more by engaging with it again. And so it will really be an exciting thing to do this again. And so I'd like to find out now if we have any questions. I don't know if we've had any questions in the chat room, but if you do have any questions, kindly put them out there and we'll be very happy to answer any questions that you might have. So remember, we like to keep the time, so this meeting will be rounding up shortly. We're just waiting for your questions so we can answer them. In the absence of any questions, I'll just like to mention that we'll be there to support you every step of the way. We will be there in any way that you need us to support you, reminding you about the webinars, providing explanations about the curriculum, resource packs, and all of that. Now, one of the exciting things is this, I forgot to mention. When we have the webinars, after each webinar, about a week or so after, we would have what we call a cohort check-in. Now, this cohort check-in would actually be a place where you'll be sharing your success story. So what is your progress so far? What have you enjoyed the most? And then we'll be explaining the curriculum resource material. So if you have any questions about that, that would be the time to ask. I see that someone is asking if Toby paid some money to get certified. Now, the certification is not free. Google certification is not free. And also the training is not free. But Toby was able to get herself one of the partially funded slots. So MKB Consulting paid about 60% or so of the fee. And she had to pay just about 40% of the fee so that she could attend the training and then write the certification exam. So yes, it does cost a token, but it's valid for 3 years, and this certification is internationally recognized and accepted anywhere in the world. So it's a really very elite group of educators, right? Okay, so in the absence of any other questions, I would like to once again reiterate the fact that this webinar series will be starting in January, specifically on the 14th of January, and you'll be getting more information from us. So please keep your eyes on your emails, keep your phone lines open, because we'll be sending you messages, we'll be calling you, we'll be emailing you, so that we all go on this journey together, and together we transform the way teaching and learning is done in Nigeria, in Africa, and indeed in the world.
Okay,
right,
Susan, I'll need a few more minutes. Just for those who joined late, I want to show them the video again and show them some of the things that I showed at the beginning, and then we'll end.
Okay, sir. Okay,
yeah,
sir.
Also, we started the recording very late, so I think now that the recording started, I want to have that as part of the recording. Yeah. Okay, so those who joined late, I'm just going to show a video. I'm not going to spend too much time because we have about 2 minutes left, but maybe we'll spend the next 5 minutes and then we'll end this session. So I'm going to share my screen then. Just 1 minute. Can you all see my screen?
Yes, sir, we can.
Okay, so I'm going to start a video. So the video that you all just watched is actually the video of my son's school in the UK. I'm based in the UK, and I've worked for Shell in Nigeria, in the UK, and also in the States. And so I left Shell, and I decided I was going to make a change in Nigeria, and I partnered with Google in Nigeria to start transforming education in Nigeria using the Google environment. So I'm going to show you the result of this school. I'm not going to spend too much time. So I'm going to show you the. So you can see this is, let me actually start with the GCSE result for the school. For those who missed the early part of this webinar. So this is their last GCSE result. And you can see that about 83% of the students had 9-8, which is A or A star in all subjects. And then you have about 96% had A to B in all subjects in GCSE. I'm going to show the A levels. This is again the A levels 2021. And you see A star, about 45% had A star in all the subjects that they offered for A levels. And then when you come to A star and A, about 84% of the students had A or A star in all the subjects they offered for A levels. Now, I always say that these kids, they don't have two brains. They don't have two brains. They only have one brain, just like any other kid anywhere in the world. And I've proved in Nigeria that it's possible to take my own personal experience with my child and take it down to Nigeria. So I partnered with Google and I said, we can transform education in Nigeria as well. So what I did was I took a school in Port Harcourt and I said, we can make this school as a model for other schools. I will show you the last result of this school. So this is a school in Port Harcourt. So this school right now is ranked number 7 by this company. I don't know the company, but I saw this newsletter. It's ranked number 7. It's called Broombridge Schools in Port Harcourt. And this is their last ICSE result, 2021. So you can see the names of the students and their scores there. You can see all the A's. Yeah. So this is a school in Nigeria. This is not a school in the UK. This is a Nigerian school in Port Harcourt. So you can see the students, the top students and their scores. Yeah. So what I've proved is that what I've done in the UK can be replicated in Nigeria. So this school is a model for other schools in Nigeria. And this school now is what we now call a Google reference school. When a school has completely transformed their education, their teaching and learning, you take them through a process called the Google reference school process. And this school have completed that process. Google has now made them. This is the first Google reference school in Nigeria. They're going to be having an event, Q1 next year, where they're going to showcase this school to other schools in Port Harcourt. So you guys look out for that as well. So from this school. So that's it from me. And thanks very much, everyone, for attending today. Susan, you can. I'll hand over to you. You can finish up.
Okay, sir. All right. So thank you, everyone, for joining in. I see that we have a question from Temi Dayo. All right, ma'am. So we'll take your question. You can ask now. And then
I'm sorry.
That
was an error. I'm sorry about that.
Oh, okay, great. All right, ma'am. All right, everyone. So thank you so very much for joining this meeting. And we look forward to having you in January. We cannot wait to have the webinar series with you. We cannot wait to share the curriculum materials and see the success story, how it transforms teaching and learning. Also, most importantly, I can't even wait for you to get your hands on the coding curriculum, because I'm sure that coding is a very big thing right now, and some people are making a lot of money out of that. So we cannot wait for you to actually get your children coding, because that indeed is the future of the digital space. So thank you once again for joining this meeting. Thank you for joining in from everywhere. Thank you for your patience. Thank you for your interest. And we look forward to seeing all of you. And you can also share the good news with other schools that you know. So even if you know teachers and schools that will be willing to be part of this and they are not in this meeting or they are not aware, you can spread the good news. I mean, we have from now until January to have them join in, and we can't wait to get this journey started with you and with all of the teachers and children in your schools. Thank you so much for joining in. And yes, you will get the curriculum once the materials, once the series would start. So for example, if we start the digital responsibility webinar, once you watch the digital responsibility webinar and then you attend the cohort meeting, you will get access to the digital responsibility curriculum. You will start using it. You'll be providing us feedback. And then when we see that you are using that, we would then share the resource one after the other. We don't want to just share resources because, I mean, we don't want people to get their hands on things that they would not use. So we want to make sure that we can track engagement. We want to make sure that it is relevant to your school and you are using it, because we are very interested in your success stories. All right. So thank you so very much again, everyone.
So tell me, somebody called Temi Dayo raised their hand. I'm not sure if they've got a question.
All right, ma'am. You are actually mute, ma'am. We can't hear you. Temi Dayo, ma'am, we can't hear you.
Okay, don't worry. Looks like she doesn't have
Okay.
a question. Yeah.
All right, everyone. Thank you so much, and we cannot wait to start with you all as well. Thank you for the kind words. Yes, and yes, Victor, you will get notified. That's why I said keep your emails active, keep your phones open, and we'll be all up. We'll bombard you with messages. So we'll be sending you WhatsApp messages. We'll be sending you phone calls. We'll be sending you emails, just so that we can provide the necessary support to ensure success. This is a program that we want every teacher to win. It's a win-win for every teacher. So we want to make sure that every teacher gets the best out of it, because we are championing and we are rooting for you all. Thank you so very much, and we will notify you in January. Thank you for joining in, and have a good evening. The feedback forms, the feedback forms would be sent to you after each session. Yes, so if you finish the digital responsibility webinar, you will get the feedback forms immediately, and then you can fill it out. In fact, the people who will be up to win the swag for digital responsibility will be based on how quickly they fill the feedback forms. So it's more about fastest fingers. So the first people to fill the feedback forms, the first people to provide us with feedback about what they're doing in their classes with the curriculum, they get the webinar. So I mean, they get the Google swag. So I'm giving you Expo for free. So fastest fingers. All right. So thank you so much, everyone. Thank you very much. Thank you, Glory. Thank you, Temi Tokwe. Thank you, Ekufre. And have a good evening. So the meeting has now come to an end. So please feel free to leave the meeting room. Thank you.
Can everyone please stay back, please? Everybody, MKB Consulting staff, please, everyone stay back. Thank you. Thanks, everyone. Bye-bye.
Thank you, everyone. Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Bye, Joma. Nice to
Bye,
see you.
everyone. Bye.
Same here.
Bye. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.